So yeah, I'm not pleased with the game. It sucks to lose like this, but at the same time, I feel like it just allowed our bench to kind of get.
She is complaining.
Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white.
The reason that Caitlin Clark was so popular was because she was white.
It's 100% about race, she said.
The WNBA world came to a standstill when A'ja Wilson took the mic during a live TV broadcast and said something no one saw coming. Known for her poise, passion, and powerhouse performances, A'ja ditched the script and delivered a raw, unfiltered statement that instantly lit up social media. Players, fans, and commentators were left stunned as her bold words echoed across the league. But what exactly did she say? And why is this unexpected moment now being called one of the most powerful statements in WNBA history? You have to hear it to believe it. Blunt truth sends shockwaves through the league. It didn't take a viral moment or a last-second buzzer beater. All it took was A'ja Wilson and a microphone. No script, no fluff, just the kind of raw honesty that feels rare in a world of polished press conferences and careful sound bites. When A'ja spoke after a tough loss, she didn't hold back. And once her words hit the airwaves, there was no pulling them back. Not that she would have wanted to. The Las Vegas Aces had just endured another frustrating game, one that left fans confused and teammates visibly drained. Instead of glossing over it with cliches, A'ja leaned into the truth. "We look amazing for a quarter, then like we've never met each other the next," she said, her voice calm but cutting. It wasn't a meltdown. It was more like a wake-up call wrapped in poise. Some might call it a challenge, others a warning. Either way, it was impossible to ignore. There's something different about A'ja this season. Sharper, more intense. Maybe it's the pressure of being a veteran leader, or the rising expectations that come with carrying a championship-caliber squad. But one thing's clear, she's done babysitting inconsistently. With the season halfway gone and playoff positions tightening, Wilson made it clear, no more excuses. That line hung in the air like a storm cloud. This wasn't just about one game, it was about a pattern. The Aces had dominated early, toppling teams like New York with energy and grit. But just as quickly, they stumbled, falling flat against lower-tier squads and leaving fans wondering which version of the team would show up next. A'ja didn't pretend it was fine. She said what many whispered: the fire was flickering and someone needed to reignite it. And if you think this was just talk, think again. Wilson's performance in the preseason without Chelsea Gray in the lineup was all the proof anyone needed. When the team looked rattled, she held her nerve, nailing critical shots, grinding out stops, and pushing her squad into overtime where they clawed out a 5-point win. Her teammate Kelsey Plum put it best: "That's just A'ja, she's all heart, all fight." Even coach Becky Hammon couldn't hide her admiration. She leads by example, but when she speaks up like that, you listen. It wasn't just the honesty, it was the authority behind it. Some fans are now speculating, is A'ja's bluntness a sign of locker room tension? Or is it exactly what the Aces need right now, a spark? Either way, Wilson's comments have people talking. And if her words struck a nerve, maybe they were supposed to. Because if there's one thing we've learned from A'ja Wilson, it's that she doesn't waste words. When she speaks, it's with purpose. And this time, she may have lit the match that sets her team, and possibly the entire league, on fire. But what sparked A'ja Wilson's no-nonsense attitude and fiery mid-season warning to her team? Stay tuned. This gets intense. When A'ja spoke, the game changed. The lights had barely dimmed after tip-off when A'ja Wilson did something no one expected. She spoke, not with a roar, but with a sharp, unshaken truth that sent echoes through the arena. This wasn't just another press moment or motivational speech. It was something deeper, something raw. And while some might call it bold, for A'ja, it was simply necessary. She wasn't brought in to be quiet. Ever since that high-profile move to the Fever in January, one thing has been crystal clear. A'ja came to win, not to warm the bench. And she didn't wait to make that known. "This team is on the edge of something big," she reportedly said when asked about her arrival. "I didn't show up to babysit mediocrity. And that energy? It's been fueling everything, from pre-game warm-ups to heated timeouts. The Fever's roster this season is anything but quiet, with rising star Caitlin Clark finding her footing and veterans like Dana Bonner and Natasha Howard anchoring the ship. There's a bubbling tension, of expectation, of pressure, of potential. But when shots fall short or effort wanes, it's Aja's voice that cuts through. Not as a lecture, as a charge. Fans felt it during that fiery night against Atlanta. Aja's double-double, 16 points, 10 rebounds, wasn't just a stat line, it was a statement. She grinned post-game and quipped, "It's about damn time," but what followed wasn't lighthearted. Her comments were layered with purpose, not criticism, but conviction. "The Fever needs to do better," she declared, not whispered, declared. What's powerful isn't just what Aja says, it's how she says it. She doesn't sugarcoat, she doesn't deflect, and she never hides behind excuses. Her words are tough, but they carry weight because they come from a place of accountability, not arrogance. So now, fans are turning up the volume. Teammates are raising their level. And even opponents are paying attention. Because when Aja speaks, she isn't just talking, she's leading. But what really left everyone stunned was how many listened. From the court to the crowd, something shifted. And now, the question isn't if Aja Wilson is changing the game. It's just how far she'll take it. But what did Aja Wilson say that froze teammates, stunned fans, and silenced coaches? Stay glued to your screen to find out. The moment that shook the league. That moment didn't seal the victory shot or a dramatic overtime finish that had everyone talking. It was a microphone, a glare, and one sentence from Aja Wilson that sent shockwaves through the league. Cameras rolled, lights beamed, and within seconds, Aja delivered a bold, unfiltered truth live on air. No scripts, no smoothing things over, just pure, unapologetic fire. Fans leaned in, teammates froze, coaches blinked. What she said didn't just echo in the arena, it erupted across the basketball world. For weeks, the Indiana Fever had been stuck in a loop. The plays looked predictable, motion offense after motion offense, with no real rhythm or urgency. The crowd had been murmuring it, players had been feeling it. And then Aja said it out loud, "No more motion offense." A simple line, but it cracked something open. At first, silence, and then, boom, reaction. Caitlin Clark, a rookie already commanding headlines, didn't hesitate. She reposted the clip and added, "100% with you." It wasn't just a supportive gesture, it was a statement, a declaration. Clark didn't just agree with Aja, she aligned with her publicly and powerfully. In a league where rookies are often expected to stay quiet, that move meant everything. Veteran Kelsey Mitchell, known for her leadership and calm presence, didn't flinch either. In fact, she smiled. Later, she told reporters, "That's the tone we need, truth in real time." She didn't see drama, she saw clarity, honesty. The kind that a team desperate for a spark had been missing all season. The rest of the locker room, surprisingly chill. Sydney Colson threw in some humor with a meme of Aja mid-rant, captioned, "When the truth gets too real for morning coffee." It was lighthearted, yes, but rooted in real support. This wasn't a meltdown, it was leadership in its rawest form. Online, the moment blew up. X, formerly Twitter, trended with hashtags like Say It Aja and Fever Wake Up. Fans posted everything from "finally someone said it" to "she's doing what the coach won't." Reddit threads exploded. One fan wrote, "That's not drama, that's the direction." Even those who didn't fully agree with airing locker room thoughts on national TV admitted it. Aja got people talking, and talk they did. Sports talk shows ran it on repeat. ESPN's debate table dissected it like a finals play. Was this a spontaneous outburst or a calculated move? Had Aja just gone rogue? Or had she said what veterans had whispered behind closed doors for weeks? Yahoo Sports called it a tactical mic drop. Other outlets questioned whether tensions with the coaching staff had finally boiled over. Even players on rival teams chimed in. Some praised Aja for being gutsy. Others warned that speaking out like that could stir trouble. But all agreed, the Indiana Fever had suddenly become the most talked-about team in the WNBA, not for their win-loss record, but because of a moment that was fearless, fiery, and impossible to ignore. And just like that, the conversation changed. Not just around Aja Wilson, but around leadership, honesty, and what it means to demand more in the middle of a tough season. The shift no one saw coming. What sparked it all wasn't a trending clip play or a buzzer beater. It started with a mic. Aja Wilson, already a powerhouse on the court, stepped into a different kind of spotlight, and suddenly, everything felt different. Within days, fans who had drifted from the league were tuning back in. Analysts who barely acknowledged the fever were now dedicating full segments. The buzz wasn't just about a score or a stat line. It was about something deeper. Something had cracked open, and at the center of it all was Aja. She didn't ease into it. There was no warm-up. In the middle of a post-game interview, her smile faded, her voice firmed, and out came words that echoed beyond the arena walls. She didn't name names, but everyone listening knew exactly what she meant. She wasn't just talking about hustle or defense. She was calling out the lack of urgency, the silence when someone needed to speak, the weight some were carrying alone. And she carried it not with drama, but with clarity and grit. Aja's impact goes far beyond the stat sheet. Sure, she's had explosive performances, but it's her emotional leadership that's turning heads. Teammates are locking in, fans are re-engaged, and the locker room has a new rhythm. Could this be the beginning of a cultural shift? When Aja arrived this season, no one questioned her talent. But what many missed was the kind of fire she'd bring off the ball, diving for loose rebounds, challenging every possession, cracking jokes through the pain, then switching into full battle mode. Her presence has started to feel less like a role player's contribution and more like the foundation everything is being built on. She's not just playing anymore, she's leading, with passion, with bite, and with the kind of voice that doesn't wait for permission. So now the question is, has Aja Wilson become the voice this team needed all along? And are we watching the rise of not just a star, but a symbol of something bigger? Whatever it is, fans can't look away, and neither can we. But what if Aja Wilson's leadership is quietly reshaping the entire team's identity? Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. From silent strength to vocal leadership. No headline broke the news, no highlight drew attention. It simply began. It started with a moment. Aja Wilson, eyes steady, voice clear, stood before the media after a crushing loss and said the words that echoed louder than any buzzer. We're on everyone's schedule, but we're not loved by anyone except us. That wasn't just frustration, it was a rallying cry, a call for unity, for fire, for something deeper than stats. And suddenly, the tone of the season shifted. Known for her explosive presence on the court, Wilson's influence this year has gone far beyond rebounds and blocks. Midway through the season, Phoenix was battered, key players injured, chemistry shaky, media pressure mounting. Yet Aja didn't flinch. She anchored the team emotionally, holding everything together even as the scoreboard told a different story. Her leadership, once subtle, became unmistakable, voiced, visible, and respected. Take that fiery, flagrant foul during a heated showdown in Connecticut. Yes, the one where she defended Caitlin Clark with such intensity she got ejected. The call may have removed her from the court, but it earned a different kind of respect from teammates and fans alike. The crowd didn't boo, they cheered. Not because she was out, but because she showed she was all in. It wasn't recklessness. It was loyalty, grit, and a no-nonsense reminder of what the team stands for. And what's even more striking, her transition from Indiana to Phoenix hasn't just been professional, it's been personal. Wilson openly admitted she had gotten too comfortable in the Mercury system. Now, she's embraced Phoenix's expectations with hunger, bringing championship insight and passing it down to younger players, including Caitlin Clark. The front office noticed. Coach Stephanie White praised her consistency. GM Amber Cox highlighted her ability to lead within the system. Veteran Dana Bonner, she simply called her the difference. Even her presence in the locker room is a force. Veteran Sydney Colson described it as a perfect balance of joy and discipline, something that re-energized team dynamics in ways that can't be measured in points. That's the thing about Aja. She's not just playing basketball, she's building something bigger. And in the middle of it all, a perfectly timed double-double against Atlanta that cooled tempers and lit a fire under the team. Her voice is louder now, her actions clearer, and her message unmistakable. They are not here to be spectators. They are here to compete. So, is this just Aja's peak? Or is it only the beginning? But could Aja Wilson's move wasn't just a transfer, but a total transformation? Stay tuned, because this story's just heating up. The quiet spark behind Indiana's fire. Everything began with just a smile and a mic. After a dominant win over Dallas, Aja Wilson didn't just celebrate the victory, she lit up the airwaves with a cheeky comment. Indiana's fans? They're feisty, they're sassy, just like me. Laughter followed, but beneath the light-hearted jab was something far deeper. A reflection of how Aja has quietly become the heartbeat of a team on the rise. She wasn't always the loudest in the room, but now her energy is the one that fills it. Her journey to Indiana wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. After 6 strong seasons with the Las Vegas Aces, where she won hearts and hardware alike, 2025 brought a twist no one expected, a 4-team trade that landed her in Indiana. Many called it a gamble, but Aja saw it as something else. A clean slate, a bigger challenge, and a chance to build something lasting alongside rising stars like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Dana Bonner. Born August 8, 1996, in Columbia, South Carolina, Aja was never just another athlete. By the time she entered the WNBA, she had already carved her name into NCAA history, with South Carolina dominating the league and earning the Naismith and Wooden Awards. But in Indiana, she's writing a new chapter, one less about stats and more about soul. On the court, she still brings her signature toughness, diving for loose balls, fighting for position, and knocking down clutch shots. But what fans and teammates now talk about most isn't her scoring. It's her presence. She's the one lifting spirits after tough quarters, keeping composure when games spiral, and calling her teammates to stay focused. "We stand together or fall apart," she's known to say, a mantra that echoes in the Fever locker room. Still, for all the leadership and hustle, one question lingers. Who is Aja Wilson when the cameras turn off? A star, a mentor, a future legend, or maybe something simpler? A woman determined to turn her team into a family and her second chance into a legacy. One thing's for sure. Behind the blocks, the rebounds, and those quick-witted interviews, there's a story still unfolding. And for Fever fans, it's one worth watching closely, because Aja isn't just showing up for the game, she's setting the tone for the future. But what drives Aja Wilson when the cameras stop rolling and the spotlight fades? Stay tuned, this story is still unfolding. Live on air. This wasn't the slam dunks or buzzer beaters that had fans on edge. It was what Aja Wilson said live, with the lights hot and the cameras rolling. Known for her relentless drive, quiet fire, and cool leadership, no one expected the moment she'd make headlines would come off the court. But it did, and it hit harder than any block she's ever made. Before that viral soundbite exploded across social media, Aja had already begun turning heads with her off-season move. Her decision to join the Indiana Fever wasn't just about basketball. It was personal. For Aja, returning to the Midwest felt like more than a career move. It felt like coming home, surrounded by family, fueled by a loyal fan base, and embraced by a city that thrives on grit and hustle. She found more than just a new jersey. She found a renewed sense of purpose. From the first day of training camp, she made her presence known, not just as a vocal leader, but as a true Swiss Army knife on the floor. Her game blended guard-like speed, wing-level range, and the physicality of a seasoned post. Coaches immediately recognized her value. She wasn't filling a gap, she was redefining it. And by the time she lit up Atlanta with a 16-point, 10-rebound double-double, including 4 threes and a huge defensive stop, fans weren't just watching her play, they were watching her take control. But her legacy was never going to be measured by stats alone. In June, during a tense showdown with the Connecticut Sun, things got heated. Caitlin Clark, rookie phenom, teammate, and lightning rod for attention, was shoved in the paint. The arena fell tense. Without hesitation, Aja stepped in. Not just verbally, physically. She defended her teammate, clashing with opponents and earning herself an ejection and a hefty fine. But the reaction? It was explosive. Fans rallied, social media surged, and her jersey sales spiked. In that moment, Aja became more than just an elite athlete. She became the team's enforcer, the protector, the anchor, the heart. Her teammates backed her. Her energy is unmatched, Caitlin Clark said simply. GM Amber Cox called her one of the best shooters in the league, praising her competitive spirit. Coach Stephanie White labeled her the team's X Factor. And fans? They saw someone willing to risk everything to keep the team's bond intact. And that brings us back to the live TV moment, the words that caught everyone off guard. Was it frustration boiling over, a calculated message, or simply the truth, raw and unfiltered? Whatever it was, it struck a nerve. It reminded fans that Aja Wilson isn't just here to compete. She's here to lead, to protect, and to speak up. But what do you think Aja Wilson really meant with those bold, on-air words that stunned everyone? We'd like to hear your take in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.